Mabuhay and welcome back to our mentoring session. Today we have another topic to share and discuss. This is about how to write thesis chapter 3. Chapter 3 is about research methodology. It would take around 5 minutes to present this. Is it possible? Let's try. Okay, so here we go. Chapter 3 is about research methodology. And in writing this particular chapter, the researcher has to consider many important uh, items under this particular chapter. Of course, among these is the research method. Okay, so how to write that? Now, under a research method, you need to answer and write, okay, your answer to this particular question. Now, what is the appropriate research method being used in your study? So, simply describe and define what is the research method. Okay, so another important consideration is you have to define and explain why this method is the most appropriate to your study. So, a matter of explanation and discussion why. Now, these are some examples of such. So, you have your quantitative and qualitative design, no? Basically. And you have your descriptive, correlational, experimental, causal comparative, or ex post facto. You have your field observation, you have your focus group, you have your intensive interview, case studies, biographical, phenomenological, grounded theories, and others. So, lahat ng mga ito ay ibibigay sa inyo ng malinaw, no, with your statistician, of course, for this. All right. So, there. The next item under this particular chapter is the respondents of the study. So this is where the researcher discuss, no, about this. Now, of course, who are the respondents? So simply present. Who are they? Why you choose them? Simply justify why. Now, as to sampling techniques, of course, you need to identify or present the sampling technique being used and why you need to use it. All right. And how do you select your respondents? You have to give details on the process and steps. Okay. For example, of all these sampling techniques is, of course, the random sampling. All right. Then we have also purposive sampling, convenience sampling, quota sampling, stratified multi-level sampling. All right. Of course, your statistician will help you, okay, prescribe you on a specific sampling that is appropriate to your study, no? Dahil in this particular area, no, pinag-uusapan dito yung ano bang study mo? Is it a random study or parametric study or a non-parametric study or statistics? So, mahalagang nakikita yon so that your statistician or even your research advisor, no, could prescribe and recommend no appropriate random or appropriate sampling technique for you or for your study. Okay, next is your instrumentation. Okay, now in this particular portion, the researcher will describe, the data gathering instrument or tool, and its parts, of course, how it was designed and drafted, no? Some story about it, and how it was critiqued and validated by experts, and professors, and how you finalize it and subjected it to a dry run, or the pilot testing. That is also a very important part now of your instrument, prior to the formal administration or plotting of your survey questionnaire. Now, if it is a standard tool, no, this is also important. Researcher must acknowledge, the source of your tool. And another is your data gathering procedure. Another item under chapter 3. So, data gathering procedure. So, here, the researcher must give a detailed discussion of the steps or procedures such as formal floating of the tool, retrieval, and processing of data, something like that. And another, as to statistical treatment of data, no? Another important item under um, research methodology. The researcher will describe and define the statistics used, in the study. Now, example of all these statistics are parametric and non-parametric statistics. No, uh, um, statistics like frequency, um, percentage distribution. Are you using Likert scale? Okay. Are you using t-test? Are you using Persons R, Spearman Ra, all right? ANOVA or F test? Are you using non-parametric test like Wilcoxon, okay? Like Mann-Whitney statistics, something like that. So you are going to present, describe, and define, and even justify why you will use that kind of um, statistical treatment for your study. All right. Now, another part is the arbitrary scale of values. Other formats, other universities format are not having this. However, other universities are including this in their chapter 3, no, arbitrary scale of values. So this is where the researcher presents, any um, measures, like for example, using the Likert scale, scale 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 5, and of course the corresponding values and verbal interpretation or subjectival or objectival rather interpretation or description. Descriptions like strongly agree, all right, agree, disagree, strongly disagree, or very high, high, uh, moderately high, okay, low, very low. So these are just some examples about arbitrary scale of values that you are going to present in this particular portion. Okay, so there again, I hope, that this very short or quick, sharing about writing chapter 3 research methodology helps you somehow in your way towards writing chapter 3. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing in this channel. Thank you and God bless.